The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom.
Hey, what is going on, everyone? It is David Palmer, the Leo King, and we are here live for Deep Love Tarot, your weekly love tarot report. And of course, I mix the astrology in as well for the week of December the 23rd through the 29th of 2019. Thank you so much for being a part of highvibe.tv. Make sure that you check out our apps. We have an awesome app, and of course our website where we do exclusive content and content like this for free. They're all free, the apps, and of course if you are part of the subscription, you get my daily video horoscopes, my deep astrology in full, you get my weekly sun sign horoscopes, and so much more. Plus we do notifications, and we have an exclusive show which Craig and I do, which is called Full Disclosure, which has been taken off a lot lately, where we just like open up and talk about everything and answer all your questions. How are you doing tonight, Craig?
I am doing very well.
I'm laughing because you haven't shown the camera of what you look like yet.
Hold on, I'm doing something.
Oh, adjusting? Well, how about I'll promote on New Year's Eve? We have an amazing event happening here. The Era of Providence. We got so many things going on for this event. It's a 10-hour event. I'm going to be doing a long 3-hour lecture that's broken up into 2 different sections. I'm actually going to do a live deep astrology to open it up because it is on a Tuesday, this December 31st, this New Year's Eve. So, but we have awesome guests. We have Jackson Lannis from in-house here at High Vibe. We have Dylan, the Spirit Advisor. We have special guest Star Girl, the Practical Witch, and we have Dr. Steven Schwartz doing all of his amazing stuff, dealing with vibration, binaural beats. His Vibe Veg are going to be here. We're going to have VR experiences here. We're going to have, there's so much. We have, the food is done. We've got a champagne toast. I'm going to be doing spiritual dance music. Stargirl and I are going to be doing an astrology and tarot talk. She's doing an exclusive Q&A. My 3-hour lecture is going to be like how you see on Rising Through the Darkness or Age of Deception for the Era of Providence. So it's going to be pretty awesome going into the whole decade of what to give people the picture of after these big conjunctions here. And also Destiny's Call. If you want to have the best video that you could ever watch about the eclipse that starts on Christmas here, and January 12th when Saturn and Pluto conjunct with the Sun and Mercury with a lunar eclipse on the 10th, 2 days before that, and how it's changing your whole entire life and your destiny, it's on sale right now on the paid video section of highvibe.tv. But if you do not make it to the event, we have a live stream aspect. So you can, of course, live stream the event on New Year's Eve and be part of the Q&A. So we have a chat room that goes and be part of the Q&A for Stargirl, be part of the Q&A for what's going on here, and be part of the event, of course, in that fashion or form, and stream it through the apps and so forth like that. And we're just very excited about it and super happy to have you all here. And also super excited that people have been really helping build this show. You know, this show, Craig and I started on a whim, and it has now been growing. So, you know, last week was our best show, and we just want to thank all of you out there for supporting it so much. I know it could be a little crazy though, right, dude? Like, are you ready? Or are you still in Santa's workshop?
Santa is here.
Santa's in the workshop, and he's out.
Santa is here. Yeah, this event's going to be, as the kids would say, lit. Should be a good time. Way to ring in the new year with us, either live stream or we'd love to have you in studios if you can make it out here to Huntington Beach. So Let's do this.
Yes, let's do this. Well, how you feeling about this holiday, New Year, and love right now, bro? Before we go into this collective reading,
kind of crept up. All of a sudden, it's Christmas and about to
raining.
be a new year, and it's like, where the hell did this year go? It's pretty mind blowing to say the least. I'd say.
I know. I was trying to think what we did last year on Christmas, but I don't even remember. Even though it feels like yesterday, at the same time, it feels like eternity. So it's kind of a weird thing. The time feels fast, but then it feels like...
I don't think we did much last year for Christmas.
Yeah, I don't think we did either. But you know what? We're doing a New Year's Eve event, so make sure that you check it out. You can go to highvibe.tv, click on the New Year's Eve tab at the top of highvibe.tv, and it goes to a full entire site that gives you all the information, all the flyers, and so forth. And actually, we are releasing the line, or not only the lineup, but the lineup's out, but now the schedule of events and who's speaking and when and so forth. Craig just made the flyer for that.
That I did.
So if you've never watched the show before, we're going to do a collective reading first, and then we're going to go into your individual sun signs based upon what we pick out of the High Vibe cup, the red cup. Now,
cup.
Do you want to let people know what was in the cup before coming on stage?
Oh, there's a big old spindle about that size. I stuck my hand in there to make sure that all 12 signs were in there, and I got a little surprise that popped up.
There was a big old spider.
Not nice. Not nice. But, I didn't kill it. I blew it out the cup, let it go on its merry way, so now it's roaming around free in the warehouse. So maybe we'll have some babies. We got a little warehouse spider. It's good stuff, You can't just be killing those arachnids all the time. They do serve a purpose here on Earth.
That is very true. So we do have a solar eclipse this week in Capricorn, conjunct Jupiter. Welcome to Capricorn anyway, everyone. We got the sun squaring Chiron right now as we're talking. We got the sun trining Uranus this week. There is a lot going on astrologically. This is the portal of all portals. The next 2 weeks is going to be, in my opinion, and this is because I'm an astrologer, I'll just throw predictions out on the line, the most intense 2 weeks of your life. And I know that you might be like, what? But I've been saying this for years. So this is it. We're here, and the doorway is happening here on Christmas, ironically enough. And as far as love-wise goes, this is definitely where all the intersections are meeting right now, of every freeway, of every highway in the universe, and train, and subway, and all the ports with all the boats, and everything is I don't know if you can imagine that, dude, but it's
Yeah, we're all conjuncting. Well, like you talked about last week, it's kind of going through the portal and how it gets sucked down all into one, area. That's kind of where we are right now. We're all getting lined up and shipping out.
Yes. So it's going to be quite interesting to see what the collective reading is. Let's see what shows up. First cards that I'm doing, because it's such a heavy astrology week, we're going to do the Black Moon astrology cards. We're going to do the Enchanted Spell Oracle deck as the challenge. We're going to see where the challenge is with the enchantment energy and the magic energy. And then we're doing, what's his name on this deck? I always forget his name.
Horse?
The blue one, these ones.
Oh, the Morgan Greer?
The Morgan Greer. I always forget that name. It's a Rider-Waite deck, of course, but it's Morgan Greer's version. And then, of course, we got the Sacred Symbols Oracle deck for our spiritual advice and how to deal with the challenges. And also, it's kind of an overall to patch everything up. Let's see what the collective has to say this week with the solar eclipse. We got the Aquarius card. Wow. So, one, of course, Aquarius rules friendships, but it rules where is connection and where is a knowing? Now, this is a little different than an intuitive knowing, but it's this makes sense, this makes sense, this makes sense, and I see signs through actual physical, mental aspects. And also it's about the same kind of human, right? So it's when it comes to love this week, it's are you the same kind of person? Now what I mean by that is yeah, sure, we're all humans, we're all people, but we kind of associate in tribes. And so there's this whole aspect of does this person, if I'm looking at love right now, wherever you're at, and I am putting every relationship on the table now, and I'm not even going to say singled or partnered or anything like that, or married or da-da-da-da. It's a clear scoreboard right now when it comes to relationships based off the astrology with Saturn, Pluto, literally a degree away by the end of this week, closing the cycle from Libra. So from 1982 and 1983. So this is all about, do we feel like we're the same tribe? Do we feel like we're the same, common interests. That's one thing that Aquarius rules too, right? Like you go hang out with your friends because you all have the same interests. So it's really about also the future though. Does it feel like the future is a full knowing and it feels like it will go, like you can start to see the dots that make sense? Or does it feel like you're just going each day going, I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Like I'm praying this thing will work. Well, Aquarius doesn't like to do that. And so also I'm going to say in the collective energy, Aquarius rules unpredictability. So there's going to be a lot of unpredictability this week with relationships in general, switching teams quick, switching ideas, seeing the future. There's going to be a lot of, and it was funny right before I said that, it was like all these intersections coming together. Very Aquarian. Our challenge card that we got is the rebirth. So I think that, it's hard to, go through the changes that we have to make in our life if unpredictability does come or we do see the future. Rebirthing is a lot like the death card, right? Like it's like almost like we don't want to make the change or we're afraid to make the change. And I think that you'd be missing out on so much of your future, so much of the kind of life that you want to live, the humanity that you want to be in, and the excitement that there is with it. There's a lot of excitement with Aquarius. And the rebirthing, I know, seems like it's shitty, but usually with rebirthing, it's like it needs to be done. It's like one of those things where it's like, woo, right? I mean, you're Scorpio. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. The whole rebirthing. It does feel like we've stepped into a new light this whole entire year. And what this new, decade and going forward has in store for us, it is kind of a mystery. But as long as we stay grounded and keep focused on what our goal is and what we want to be and what we want to achieve, I think that we're all going to be groovy, baby.
Boom. I think we're all going to be groovy too. And I think that, you know what? I think we all need a rebirth right now. Like we all want, I think it's like, there's just sometimes where that toilet from 1970 has taken enough shits. Like you got to replace it. There's not enough, 409 or what do you call that stuff? CLR to clean that motherfucker and rebirth. I don't know why I used that analogy, but I think it's a good one for your head. Wow, we got the Tower card overall. I pulled, and I don't want to give it all away. I'm not going to give my whole reading away that I gave on High Vibe this week, but the Tower card did come up as the main theme this week, and I will say that, wow. With Aquarius, and that rules lightning and thunder and so forth, like to have that mixed with this Tower card, and especially this version with the Greer deck.
Morgan Greer.
Yeah, Morgan Greer. I will say that it's okay to watch. This is drama, though. Tower card is drama. There's going to be drama this week. And you know what? I know it's the holidays. I know it's Christmas. I know all that stuff. But you know what? Things that are not meant to be are going to come crashing down. With a rebirth, with a Tower and Aquarius, that's very Pluto, Uranian, and then Pluto, Saturn. And you know what? Like that energy, just by looking at this deck and what's being pulled right here. So, I think that this is a necessary leveling. And I even said this at the beginning, a leveling of the playing field and a leveling of to really go into your truth and to let go. To have a rebirth and then to have the Tower after the rebirth, you would think that you get something beautiful. You get something that's like, no, you are being forced to actually go to the place that actually really is true. And if you do not, like you can't rebirth something that is already a tower that's going to fall. So you can't rebirth something that you already know is already been that tower that you've been waiting. So this is definitely dealing with things that aren't going to work because they just don't work. Like there's some negative aspect that's bringing you to dark places. It's not bringing you to Aquarius. It's not bringing you to future aspects. Wow. We did get the transformation on top of the rebirth. I mean, I don't know what else. Wow. This week is, you know what? And it's funny because I'm not shocked, but I'm a little bit tripped out just because for years, literally, I've been just saying that this week would be the gnarliest portal we've ever been through for relationships. It's in the magazine. By the way, I'm going to start posting a lot of my predictions that came true from a magazine. But I don't even know what to say. Having transformation on top of rebirth, like the universe is like, you better transform, you better change, because there is a tower waiting for you if you don't. And it's only about connecting to what's on the human side of you that is connected to you, that's advancing you to the future. And that's it. That's pretty much it. Like that's the only way to go. Where there's that tribe, that like feeling of the future is free and full of electricity and excitement. We got to pull one card for that transformation, because we're not getting enough. Oh, we got the devil reversed. We're getting out of situations that have literally been toxic and have been sucking us and taking away our energy and have been dark and have been actually, you know, whether it's manipulation or whether that's been, you know, satanic aspects like drug abuse or like sexual, you know, needs, abuse. There's a lot of intense aspects here with the devil reverse, saying getting out of that. Transforming to pull out of those situations, that toxic shit with all there's a lot of toxic energy that's trying to get cleared. Aquarius to me is the water bearer, right? So there is that help from the universe, and those people that are there that you can see will pull you to the right place. You've got to make that choice this week. It's really intense. The Astro Dice are saying for this week, we got Taurus. Let's see where we can put these to be seen. Okay, Taurus. We got the moon. Oh, I got a moon in Taurus. I love that shit. And we got it in the 4th house. Wow, yeah. This is setting the new boundaries of only putting your emotions in the best emotional place ever. Quality, high quality. Taurus does not deal with the darkness. It deals with the light. It deals with birthing. It deals with beauty. It deals with positivity. It deals with bringing that everlasting life. It is where the seeds grow. It is where we start the harvest season. It is harvesting emotions that are beautiful and from a pure and amazing place, because there's just too much toxic energy rolling around here, and there's situations that are pulling or sucking you away that it's time to pull out of those, you know, and move to the freedom and not be afraid.
When in doubt, pull out.
Always make sure that happens.
It's transformative times. Well,
yeah, I mean, you know, you brought up a very, I know there was a nice little Scorpio, little slither in there of kind of like what you meant, but you know what? This is definitely not the time to just be like, you know what? I don't have to pull out, whatever. Like, you want to talk about a fucking alien baby? And a toxic alien baby? Alien babies are toxic, you know? And somebody had brought up, have you been seeing this thing about this little mini baby Yoda shit?
I have.
I call that alien babies,
exactly
and everybody's obsessed with some little alien thing, and it's subconscious, believe it or not. We got Capricorns first. Well, it's their birthday. Happy birthday, Capricorn. So Capricorns are first. Those little baby Yodas, I said alien babies were coming. They already came. Who would have ever thought there would have been a baby Yoda?
All right, let's see what those Cappies got.
Yeah, and it's your birthday. The solar eclipse is in your sign. So you know what, Cap? This is a lot to do, especially with Sun trine Uranus in your 5th house of love. Like, you got to break free into the true love that you want. And this is a dark moon in Sag, and then we are leaving Mercury in Sag, and there's so much astrology. You should watch my channel on High Vibe to get even deeper into that. But let's see if you can get what you really want in love, or if you're too timid and too afraid. You pulled the Taurus card. So this is going to be looking at what you have and reassessing your relationship lives and the people that you're choosing, and make sure that quality, like I was just talking about in that old die that we just pulled right there, those dice, like you have to look at your true self-worth. Like, is your partnerships you're choosing on the same value as you? Do they have what you have? Do they have what you need? Like, I think that there's something within you right now that, especially Taurus rules your 5th house of love. So this is definitely romantic partnership stuff, and whether or not it's at the quality that you deserve. Like, and I'm sorry to say that vanity does come up a little bit, you know? Like, if you're not attracted to your partner, like, there's something going on, Capricorn. Like, and I think that part of this too is like, are you being a hoarder? Are you hoarding onto the relationship so much? Or are you trying to hoard to somebody and it's not even good for you? Are you holding somebody? Are you financially taking care of someone too that's just not ever going to show up with what they got? Pay attention to that and do the flip. Find the flip. Like this week you might find the flip. Like, oh my gosh, look at what I can have. Look at what, like, I don't have to take care of this person. They are everything I want beautifully. They have everything I want to have. Your challenge this week that you got is the innocence card. And I think that, you know what, that's your challenge, is you're trying to be too innocent instead of, you know, if you feel guilty, I think about getting what you want in your life. Like, I'm sorry to say at this moment, fuck innocence. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that some people might read it like, oh, you need more innocence right now. But I'm reading this based off your astrology and looking at this as the challenge is that you're being too innocent. You know, it's like you want to like, you're like, this is people pleasing to me. Taurus in it without innocence, like, it's like, I'm just holding on to it to hold on to it. And then there's a security factor there. And it's like, well, I don't want to deal with anything. Innocence is like, I just kind of want to sit back and kind of just be chilled out. Well, it's like you're gaining, whether that's emotional energy, whether that's physical energy, whether that's spiritual energy that like you cannot maybe take in anymore, that's going to have to be released. You did pull the King of Pentacles afterwards. That's another big clear indication that, you know what, this is partnerships that either step forward in their value and their worth and that are on the same level as you or not. And this is another clear indication of what I was feeling about this innocence, because you know what, a King of Pentacles does not feel bad for manifesting, for knowing its worth, for spending the money that it needs to build the kingdom, to have all the tools that it needs. Of course, the King of Pentacles is a little bit non-emotional, but I think that, you know, there is something to say about this deck where I think that your issue are these two sensitive, innocent emotions that are not allowing you to have what you really want. And sometimes in life, we need to bring that innocence, we need to bring that beauty, and I think we need to bring that more than ever. But I am saying that sometimes those are our biggest traps, because then we don't get what we want. We stay in situations, we hold on to energies and things that we really don't want because we feel guilty, we feel bad, and we want to be innocent. We don't want to feel guilty, but you're going to have to face that. Your spiritual advice card is time. You don't have any more time. Like, you just keep wasting time. And like, you're going to just concrete yourself during this birthday, this eclipse period and everything, and just have, is this what you really want? Like, the time is now to deal with the innocence, to deal with the truth, to step into the King of Pentacles, step into your true power of self, and partners that are actually going to show up and know, and that are much more at a higher, you know, aspect, especially Taurus being your 5th house ruler, and we pulled that as the first card. Oh, wow. We got Uranus, Capricorn in the 2nd house. So yeah, this is you and having to make choices about yourself, about your self-worth, and what is truly exciting to you, what is truly liberating, what is truly pulling, you know, a new advancement forward into better relationships through what you want, like, and actually showing your value. You got to throw your, you know what, on the table, your cards. you got to show your hand. You got to throw your bet down in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the time has passed where we're putting other people's needs and wants in front of ours, and it's time that we actually step into that true power of what we actually want, because self first is not always selfish. We got to take care of ourselves.
Right, we got Taurus now. Taurus, there right? That was funny.
Just like when you're on a plane, you know, they say you got to put that mask on yourself first, because if you're incapacitated, there's nothing, you know, you're no good to anybody. So make sure you recharge yourself and actually align with what you're trying to go and achieve.
I couldn't agree with you more.
What are we at?
Taurus is how funny. We had the Taurus card. We got Tauruses right now.
Abby,
money hunt. Woo, woo, or moo, moo. I got a moon in Taurus, so.
All right, Taurus.
But, you know, well, you know Wateki. Like, Wateki's Taurus, Leo rising, and we always called Wateki the white bull. Because, you know, with cows and Tauruses, there's some, you know, there's a lot of different kind of cows out there. There's like the dairy cows. There's the, you know, kind of the brown cows. There's black cows. And there's white cows, you know, like there's like the kind of primo like ones, you know, like the showboat ones.
Yep. The milk.
I would definitely be a showboat moon and Taurus. My cow would be like, you know, in the corner, just getting massaged. All right, Taurus, we got a lot going on this week for you in the 9th house. Doors are finally opening in your life that you might not believe are possible. You got to get over all the trust stuff with the dark moon and Mercury finishing here in Sag, but I think that you're over that. These are two small energies that are moving up fast, and we got Uranus and trine in your sign to the sun. So holy cow, this is breaking open a lot of new doorways for you. There's a lot of excitement right now, Taurus. And if we're going to talk about love, wow, this is moving into a lot of good directions. Mars is now done with major aspects to all the other major planets right now in your relationship house this week in Scorpio. So I know it might sound crazy, but you never know. You are clearing out the biggest energy ever. Your first card this week is the Jupiter Return of Benefits card. I told you I've been feeling this one. Oh, Tauruses, I feel some really good luck for you this week in love and opening up. And it's like you put in a lot of lessons that have taught you a lot. And the Jupiter Return is benefits. You know what's weird? I'm a Taurus moon, and my Jupiter Return is literally 7:12 a.m. on Christmas morning Pacific.
Damn. And now I actually have our favorite Taurus.
Oh, hi. I just came to listen because I heard my name.
Oh, I was just talking about
Abby
you.
in the house.
You pulled the Jupiter Return of Benefits, and I was just telling Craig that's what my Jupiter returns once every 12 years for everyone. Mine is happening on Christmas morning at 7 a.m.
Lucky you. You get to unwrap a galactic present.
Hey, we've been doing a lot of galactic code around here. Underground, if you guys come to the New Year's Eve event, maybe we can get Abby to be teaching a little galactic code around here.
Abby.
I would love to do a little galactic code.
Yes.
This is a really awkward angle, Craig.
Well, you know. You gotta do
You
what
guys
you
look
gotta
cute.
do. You look nice.
Is that one of your little helpers, Craig, who's stolen it over Santa's job? I feel like a Scorpio is totally like Nightmare Before Christmas. like I just came in to steal Christmas. Like nobody's getting gifts. We're just gonna rock out.
I came up on these a couple Christmases ago at my family Christmas party. They were my cousin's 3-year-olds, but now they're mine. So
Of course they are.
they're not mine.
I know, and I'm going fast because I know you got a Christmas party. Your big family Christmas party right now.
He's got something to say.
No, I just want to say I think it's time for all of us Tauruses to just band together and be the very best that we can possibly be and quit being afraid of shit. Like we're so afraid to move forward and we have to.
Look
It's
what
time.
show Abby what card I just pulled for their challenge.
What
It's
is it?
patience. They've been too patient.
Aw. Well, it's nice seeing everybody. I'm going to run back to my workshop.
Go wrap those presents.
Yeah. Tell her, Santa.
Make that RC race car fast.
I'd like a new jet ski. So it's my Jupiter return. Not gonna happen. I don't think I'm getting much on Jupiter return except the blessing of high vibe, and actually I'm very happy with it.
The blessing. Bless up.
I think, Taurus, this challenge has been like, I think that there's been a lot of patience, but you don't have to be, I don't think that with Jupiter return and benefits, I don't think that you have to keep playing that, well, I'll be patient, it'll happen. Like, get rid of that notion. Also, this could be flipped. Everything in tarot could be flipped. Like maybe you've been so not patient, right? Like, and it's like, maybe you need to be patient more and you've been trying too hard because there's always the flip-flops. But I'm feeling a lot where a lot of Tauruses have been just kind of maybe being patient on the same person that's not working out. And it's like Jupiter return is like, go explore something new. You did pull the 3 cups reversed. I think that, overall it is saying that, it's like the old people that you've always associated with and thought that were going to be fun and exciting, it's over. And I think that also that there's also dealing with too many people, maybe in love, like maybe there's like, an ex that's still around and you're trying to build another one and da-da-da-da-da. It's like, come on, like just kind of clear that shit up and move into just purely what you want to have for love. Or you're hanging on to the old exciting way of life and thinking that you're trying to resurge that through love in a relationship to feel like you had it before, but that means that you're just trying to relive the same simulation of your past relationship. And I would not get into that. You did pull the knowledge card. I think that, you've learned a lot. This card to me, I've never liked though, but only because it's like too textbook. I think that though the textbook might help you in the sense of like, let's just look at this logically and make sense. Like it's a textbook thing. Like if you're too patient, you're not showing up and you're expecting like the old party to be the same way and you're not willing to go explore the benefits that are around you. Well, yeah, then guess what? The textbook's going to equal 0, nada, and you'll be buying more and more romantic novels and sex books to make pleasure yourself and feel better. And I don't think that you want to do that. I think that, like knowledge is about okay, so this is the contradiction. You always associate patience with knowledge. Like, well, it's when you're patient that you gain all the knowledge. I think that you've gained so much that it's like some people who are too patient and gain too much knowledge end up with beyond libraries and so many books. And then Craig goes to their yard sale like 5 years later and gets all their books and then hands them the most weirdest ones to me.
Actually, I found those just out with the trash. I didn't even get those from a garage sale.
Well, you know what I mean.
Just a ground score.
Well, that's even better. See, like that's what happens is sometimes you get too much patience to where now there's a bunch of just shit just laying around because you don't know what to do with it. I think that that's where you're at. I think that, you know, this is time for you to play the textbook of like, what are the basics of love? That's what it is. And I think that it's saying, go have fun and have fun in new ways. Stop trying to have fun in the old ways. And if there's a third person involved, like an ex, it's going to come in between. You got Pluto and Sag in the 12th house. So yeah, this is ending the old beliefs, the old stories, and this is putting an end to what's been holding you back, which is your belief systems, and transforming that. And also a little bit obsessed with the vision and the, you know, especially it's interesting. They're like pointing at that 3 of Cups. That vision that has held you back is like the way that you used to have fun, the way that you used to think that people came together and have a good time. It's reversed. It's saying that, you know, it's a new time, and it's also, you know, this is a threesome going on. So, you know, in reverse, it's not the best of threesomes. There's somebody else that could be in between all this stuff. You know what I mean? So embrace it. Embrace it. Embrace the love that you've been wanting. Embrace the love to a Libra. Libras. La 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 la. To a Libra. Libras. Well, Libras, you guys got a lot going on in your 4th house of emotion. Wanting to find home, wanting to find family even possibly, but then denying that, of course, with the North Node and 10th, a little bit of contradiction. Libra's a contradiction, walking contradiction. There's always 2 halves to Libra, but there's a lot of good things, I think, with 4th house transits because, you know, it is the bedrock of the soul. It is getting to the roots of what you really want and love, and I think that you've been waiting a long time for this since this has never happened for any of us, all this Capricorn. Sure, we had it during the Northridge earthquake. We had a lot of planets in Capricorn, actually. But that was in 94 January. But I will say that it's been a long time since we've had this much Capricorn. But with Pluto and Saturn, I mean, this is a different ballgame. So a major emotional transit for you. And also wrapping your head around a lot of things. Dark Moon in Sag, Mercury finishing in Sag, and then Venus in your love house this week. Oh, my gosh. And continuing on. So there's a lot of mental and emotional things that you are all over the place with, and you need to get to the bottom of what you really want emotionally to excite that love and see what's forward. Your first card that you got is the Sun card, the Spirit card. This is about you just really connecting with your true soul and your true spirit and finding partnerships that know that they're fully in that. People that are fully in their soul. They're not doubting who they are. They're still on the fence of what they are. You know, stay away from those people. You need people who have authority, and it's not authority like some kind of boss. It's the boss of knowing their soul, knowing who they are, expression. You need to have that to express back. You're a Libra. Whoever you take on as a partner is what you're going to be dealing with. Somebody who either is fully of soul or somebody who's just kind of like bobbing around. And I think that a lot of Libras are dealing with bobbing around people that don't express their souls, you know, or they're just basic like Matrix blue pilled out. And I think that this is you finding red pills. This is you expressing your soul this week. This is you having to not take on anything. This is the number 1 card in this deck, the first card. So this is like you putting like you first, but also finding people that know how to really express themselves fully and let the light shine fully through. We got the healing card as the challenge. So I think that the challenge for you is like you feel that, you know, there's been some bad things that have happened, or you feel that, you know, you need to heal, or you need time. Like, you know, I think that, you know, the challenge is like, sure, there might be some complications that have happened in partnerships for you, but, you know, anything right now that can be healed that's easy, that you are aware of and you make aware, it'll be easy. But the stuff that's way too deep and it's way too hurtful, stay away from that and put your sun and your soul first and your connection to spirit first. So this is going to be the dilemma is like we heal every day. Like sometimes we, I don't know, twist our neck the wrong way, or we get a cut, like a paper cut or something, and we heal quick. But then there's other times when it's like, wow, like I got demolished. Like I flew off my jet ski and I hit my ribs, or I was in the hospital for my hands, you know, like gnarly. But I will say that, you know, then there's times where it's like, okay, that fucking hurt and that is not good. This is the challenge, is you discerning who is making you feel that. And I don't know why I'm picking this up. Having this as a challenge of the healing card, it's almost like you feel like if you've been in a relationship you've been going, it's almost like you're feeling like you're missing out on something, like there's something missing in the soul. I don't know why I'm getting that as a challenge. It's almost like you feel like you're just going to accept something that is just actually a wound that you don't want to take. It's like, here, like, can I cut you? Like, you know what I mean? Like what? It's like, yeah, it's like, why would you accept anything that you don't want to do? I don't know why I'm getting that very heavy. And yeah, 2 of Wands reversed. So I think that, this is definitely a lot of confusion. Either you feel like nobody's showing up for you, right? Like, because they don't know which world that they want. And I think that, but it's kind of a weird thing because it's going to be a projection of that you don't really know, but you need to start to define which world you want by expression. So you'll know by people who have expression. Go towards those people, because I think that, with 2 of Wands, it could be 2 sides too. Like you're playing 2 different worlds like that you're trying to look at. It's like, stop playing the world of like the kind of strategist. Play the world of the soul and the expression and that beautiful Libra energy that you are, so you don't have to end up in some weird like situation. You got nature spirit, so you just need to connect with your guides more, and you need to connect with, more importantly, the guides that are guiding you towards the natural. Nature is natural nature. The natural spirit within yourself is naturally going to heal you. I don't think that you need to go through healing. I think that it's just like people who are fully there with their soul, fully expressive with their soul, and allow you to be fully expressive with your soul, And I think that this deals with self-worth, because with that healing and that natural self, it's kind of like you might feel like, oh, did I do something wrong? Or maybe I was confused about which world I wanted or whatever. Because I think that whenever I feel the 2 of Wands reversed, it's somebody who's not confident. And so I think that you're dealing with some confidence issues because you're choosing people who are not expressing themselves fully. And I think that makes you kind of feel unconfident because you're unconfident to make the move towards energy that does express itself the way you want to express itself. And you have to now. You have to let yourself out, and you have to realize that there is a world that you can have. But I feel that with this, I would say that for partnered Libras, there's some weird situations going on with a world that it looks close, but with that healing card in the challenge position, I almost feel like it's like counterfeit. Close, but no cigar. It's like a counterfeit Rolex. Sun in the 4th house in Virgo. So yeah, this is time for you to get to the bottom of your emotions and be clear on your emotions, but also get to the specifics of what you are feeling emotionally. But you can't, this can be sometimes really critical, but I think that the opposite of critical is like defined and understood and clear. And so I think that this is a very important time for you to be clear on where you're at emotionally. And if there are things that are really off, you're going to have to speak them out. You're going to have to say them, and you might have to change some things in your reality in order to do that. Or the reality just isn't fitting with where you're at emotionally.
Damn. So those Libras got it. They got the power within.
Aquarius next. What were you saying?
I said those Libras, they got the power within, though.
Yeah, but Libras get caught up with people who their soul is doing one thing, and then they kind of take on that. And then they get kind of stuck there. So I think that, yeah, you're right, the power is within them, but it's like choosing partners. And also, this is kind of a scary moment. I will say this for Libras, just because all this in the 4th house goes, I just want safety and security, right? So it's the typical like relationship of like, oh, I'm just going in this for safety and security because, or to build a family or to like stay safe. But it's like, what is that doing? Isn't that a jail for your soul? If it's not your true self. It reminds me of the song by the Eagles, Lion Eyes, like, just, you can see it in those eyes, they're lying, All right, Aquarians, this is all your 12th house. This is a lot of confusion. This is a lot of spirituality. That's your number one game, but this is the deepest test of patience any sign's going through right now. So also a lot of confusion with Chiron squares over to this 12th house, like in the 3rd. So, this is where you're just having to surrender and go with the flow and let go. And Venus in your sign, at least, is making you feel like there's all these things you want, but with all these train, cars behind you, and Venus is not the engine. Let's just say that. When Venus is up front, we're all right now in the, I don't know, like Legally Blonde, like driving the car right now. Like, because it's just like, we're all just like, where am I going? And who is who? And da-da-da. And I think for you, you want all these things. It's in your sign, but it's like, oh man, there's some heavy cars in the back that this thing's trying to pull, and it's in your 12th house. There's a lot of like endings that have to happen in your journey. This is the universe kind of, recycling you to a new story in your whole identity and your whole life. And that kind of puts you in a weird space with partnerships about really assessing where you're at. Your first card that you got is the Neptune sacrifice card. So again, this one comes up. It's like, there is this feeling like you're just kind of, the sacrifice card not only is like, do not go sacrificing yourself for someone else, but it also feels like you're kind of alone, you're kind of lost, you're kind of in a place where it's good for spirituality. So I'm not trying to say that, but I'm just saying that there's this feeling in love this week that you've kind of sacrificed so much and you haven't got back in return something. And you feel that, you've been kind of left out to dry. And I know that's not an easy feeling. So I feel for you. But I think we're going to get to the bottom of this and we'll get a lot more clarity. We got the strength card as the challenge. So yeah, especially with that sacrifice Neptune card as your first card and with this challenge of strength. I think that you're just ready to kind of give up, or you've given up on love fully, or you don't think it's possible. There's definitely a lot of signals to that, especially with this 12th house energy eclipse coming here. And yes, the moon is in Sag right now, so I know that some Aquarius right now are like, no, we're fine. Like, okay, wait till the eclipse. But that's going to be the challenge this week, is like, find strength and know that, you're not losing everything. You had to sacrifice things that weren't in alignment with you. That's what that means. But you have to find that strength within you to continue your story forward with the true love and happiness that you want. But there's some partnered Aquarians out there too that are just kind of in a weird space. Like they feel like they're missing out on life. Or they have missed out on life. That might be a major, major theme. I remember when I went through all the eclipses in my 12th, with Saturn in my 12th, holy fuck. Gee, many Christmas. I remember that like yesterday, and I remember all of them, like I remember the eclipses in my 12th, I remember Saturn in my 12th, I remember all that shit. And oh my gosh, I remember that changed my whole entire life. And I remember even the partnerships I was in at the time, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like what, like, I need to be an astrologer. I need to go do this, da, 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 da. So there is this kind of eerie kind of shift coming around. You did pull the 2 of Cups reverse. So it's feeling like your soulmate energy is off right now, or you feel like you're not connected with your soulmate. For those that are in twin flame things right now, it could feel like there's there's been a disconnect or something, But I think that this is, this is a hard reading. This is a lot of sorrow. Let's see if we can get some help in grounded. So, you're being tested to be grounded right now. You're being tested to just ground and know the anchor that you are is strong, that you are a beautiful and imaginative person. Use that Neptune sacrifice to put it into music, to put it into artwork right now. But know that, your soulmate energy is around and alive, and it is there, or it is coming. But I think that because you're not in your strength, it's hard for another soul to really see soul to soul when you're not fully in your strength. When you start showing your weakness, or you start showing your insecurities, or you start showing, you're worried about what the person's going to be like, or whatever, like that's what happens. Then the soulmate's going to be like, well, that doesn't resonate with me. Like, I'm like doing well. I'm in my life. I'm like handling my shit. So this is about you really having to ground yourself into your security, your strength, and not give away, your soul, not to just people, but I think it's deeper, giving away your soul to yourself, away from yourself, because you feel there's a lot of sorrow here. I got to find out why this 2 of Cups. Yeah, it's because you want the most extreme, happiest love marriage. You have the 4 of Wands here. So, I mean, it means that there is somebody coming for you. It's just, or some situation that you are confused about really could go the way that you want to, but there's definitely about your strength regaining, and there's definitely something to say about you've had to go through some sacrifice. I do want to pull one more because this is pretty intense, and it's the Judgment reversed. I think that a lot of it is like, this is a lot of in and out between a person or many partners that you might think are soulmates, but I think that a lot of it is coming down to this, which ones are really connected to spirit, and are you fully in that world? Which ones have gone to a calling? Have you gone to that calling? Because how are you two going to come together if you're both on different callings, or you're not fully stepped up into your calling fully? You got Libra in the 12th in Jupiter. So yeah, this is definitely you starting to see the subconscious issues that you're learning from that have blocked the relationship stuff out, and it has to deal with spirituality and fully committed to spirituality, fully like making it part of your life, maybe even stepping up as a spiritual teacher more, or using and implementing spirituality more into your day-to-day life as far as your work, your job, or your persona, or your career, or whatever that you do. Look at the universe gave a sign to you right there.
Right, yeah, it's like creating that sacred union, like with finding yourself again, and being happy with who you are, and like actually tapping into that soul's journey that you're on. Pretty much for me, that's what I got out of it, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, there's a lot there. There's a lot of like, I think that there's been a lot of feeling of not getting exactly what is wanted. But I think that, it's like you got to look at when you have strength and challenge, when you start playing and there's a vulnerability that sacrifice Neptune, it's very spiritual and kind of sensitive. When you're in a weak space, right? Like, and you're not in a strong space, like it's not, I'm just gonna be real. It's not attractive, right? Naturally to someone else, right? So
correct.
This is kind of like where it's not even about self-worth either. It's just about like when you're overplaying your vulnerabilities, it's not attractive. Like I do that a lot. I'll do lives and go crazy. So probably doesn't work out good for me.
Who are you? That doesn't sound like you at all.
No, it doesn't sound like me at all. No. But so that's the whole thing, is like, this is just about regaining that confidence, regaining that strength, letting go of whatever's happened and stop holding on to that. That's another part too, is the strength is kind of like diminished because it's still holding on instead of letting go of what vulnerabilities or, love is a vulnerable place. You got to be always strong. Like that's why they always say, I want my knight in shining armor, because a knight in shining armor, guess what? Knight in shining armors don't go save one damsel in distress. They go through many, you know what I mean? Like, I'll just be honest with you on that one, because they know that it's vulnerable. Like a lover is not afraid of the vulnerability and willing to go through it and see. And then if it doesn't work, continue moving on. But I think that there's a lot of energy of feeling that it's like, oh, if it's not this way, then like, and I gave my emotion up, like I am screwed. It's like, well, we all do that. And some of us do it multiple times to find the ultimate love. Like that's part of love.
That is life.
Who do you think's next?
Scorpio, obviously.
We got Pisces next. Pisces. Pisces.
That's close.
Pisces.
What's up with those Pisces?
Pisces is a very weird one, because all this Capricorn is their 11th house. Who they hang around with is the trail they're on. Is that trail going to fit in with the relationships they want? Right? So like, let's say we're going to use an analogy. I always use crazy ones because it makes more sense. Let's say you were hanging around a bunch of people who did drugs all the time and sold drugs. Okay. That probably is part of your path too, or, kind of down the energies that are around that vibe. Clubs, this, that, weird after late night parties and stuff. Your circle of influence is defining your life. Or we'll go quite opposite. If you're living out in the middle of the country, around just hanging out around horses all the time, and you used to be a city person, and you're like, man, I'm just like, I turned into this. These are the people I hang around, and you love these people, and it's great. But who are you really, though? Who you hang around right now is kind of determining your life. That's the tribe. It's like Ace Ventura, Pet Detective Part 2. The second one, when he goes out with the tribes. It's like you turn into the tribe a little bit that you become. And he goes a little bit crazy when he's out there. Although he is crazy, but do you remember that movie with the
going from the city to the mountains, the country you live in, like I did? It can definitely be a culture shock, and you do have to kind of question, like, oh, do I want to spend the rest of my life with these people out here? Do I want to start a new foundation, new relationships, all that, or do you want to rebuild someone that you had in the past? So it is definitely good to check out, if you need to, get out there and almost like rediscover yourself and refine that love that you had within.
Yeah, I mean, like. So a good example here, we're here at High Vibe, like we do spirituality, we do tarot, astrology, and all the spiritual modalities every day. So people that are around us, or any relationship that's going to come into your and my life, women wise, like if they're not down for that, or they're not kind of interested, or they don't want to like hear it, like it's probably not gonna be cool, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I love how you brought up the difference between cities and the mountains, and you touched on it a little bit more, because that is a choice. The 11th house is the world you live in. So it's like if you've chose to move up to the mountains, but you're trying to like still be a city person, or you want to like be a, I don't know. I mean, I believe you can do anything, but there is something to say about the world you live in is going to be the world that the kind of love that you're going to get, and the kind of job and the kind of path. So like for me, like, fuck, man, I like, sorry to say, I got called out on it again today. Like, oh, you're so LA. It's like, well, I am.
You know, it's where you're from.
Yeah, but you know, like, I mean, it's also what's built a celebrity astrology career. So, you know, it's kind of hard to be a celebrity astrologer in the middle of like, I don't know, nowhere, you know?
True.
Not easy to just drive down to Burbank to go to, or Universal City, and walk into stage 1. You know what I mean? At Universal Studios. Alrighty, Pisces, you're at a Grand Cross, the Provoker card. This is a very difficult card, I will be honest, but diamonds in the rough do come from Grand Crosses. A Grand Cross is when we have nothing but a major cross, because we have all squares between all 4 points, whether that's cardinal, mutable, or fixed. And then we have the oppositions, of course, which create the Grand Cross. So this is definitely a time where there's a lot of pressure in love, and you feel the pressure hard, and that can bring a lot of stress. But I think the pressure is, especially looking at the astrology and stuff, it's like the pressure on the worlds that you live in, like the kind of partners you choose are based off the worlds that you're choosing in your life. And I think that, you know, there's just so much pressure that's built up for you right now. You know, it's like, and you don't want to provoke things, I think. The one thing about a Grand Cross is it kind of feels like a traffic jam, because all the planets are squaring, opposition, and like you're in a traffic jam. And it's like, I don't know what to do. And then it becomes that moment where it's like, I'm getting on ways, and I'm taking the side roads. You know what I mean? It's like that moment when you finally provoke it, and you take some different course of action, and you get out of it, and then you get the diamond of ways getting you there 15 minutes faster. Prosperity. So there's a lot of prosperity lack here in self. Also choosing partners right now that lack prosperity consciousness. Like, I think that this is definitely also internally, as a Pisces right now, there is this kind of like not feeling that you're worthy of what the world is that you really want, and you've put a lot of pressure on yourself there, and there is this, you know, kind of thinking that you can only get as good as, you know, Payless shoes. Like, when that's not true. We all have bought shoes outside of Payless. You know what I mean? That you can have the shoes you want, you can have the life you want, you can have the partners that you want, but you've got to provoke yourself and make a major shift in the world that you live in, and get out of this weird, because I'll be honest, Grand Cross, you're in a weird space. And it's not just only weird, it's tight. It's like you feel like you're in a trap, you know, and that trap is yourself. And I think that trap is putting yourself where you think prosperity lies, but you already know it doesn't, because you're too afraid to go to where prosperity is and the kind of partnerships that you want and the world that you want to be in. You did pull the Sun card reverse, so you are dealing with that. You're not even having fun anymore. You're basing everything off of like what you think is a smarter play or a safe play. So it's kind of like the mother who doesn't let the kid go outside. You know, the Sun card is always dealing with, you know, a kid out on a horse having the blast of his life, totally enjoying the sun, enjoying consciousness, and aware, because all aware is being in love and happiness and enjoying of life. And there's something to say here about, are you even having fun, or did you make all the choices right now in your life about partnerships and about where you're at in the world and where you're at and this lack of prosperity? Because like you're trying to strategize, you're trying to actually pull out of your consciousness and do your own control game, because part of the sun too is the sun is at the beck and call of spirit, of God. Like, it is the one bringing the life to the universe through God. And it is guiding the way, but it is guiding the way actually through a divine timing element, as far as it is on a path around the galaxy. And it is not choosing how it is defining life. It is going with the flow of life and enjoying it and enjoying its role. And I think that there's a lot of things about maybe you're in a partnership or maybe you're choosing to be too much strategist and in control, and it's a lack of prosperity, and you're kind of putting yourself in a place where you feel like, why did I put myself here? Like, gosh darn it. And you got the affluence card, which gets over the prosperity. Like, because you're attracted to people who have more affluence, who have more status, who have more, flavor, who have more swag. And I think that that's your issue, is you're choosing places right now and you have to provoke some situations because you're actually avoiding the real kind of affluence and the kind of partners that you really want in your life. And you're actually doing it because you're too afraid of that. You're too afraid of that status because you don't feel that you can own it within yourself because of your own lack of prosperity in yourself, but that's what you want. So it's going to be a walking contradiction for you, continually being with people that aren't at the status that you want because you don't feel that you can own it, and you're strategizing and you're in a stressful situation. And so you're choosing it off stress instead of choosing it off prosperity, happiness, and what you really want. And there's no provoking there. There's no pressure there. The only pressure is you afraid of it because you're denying it in yourself. We got Leo, Neptune, 10th house. Yeah. So this is about your true happiness that you have to really subconsciously look at and see if it's on the path long-term. Is this the long-term love and dream of your life? You need to remember when you were a kid and go, is this what you thought you'd be like as an adult? Is this what you really thought it would be? Because I'm sorry to say, as a child, you will be a child till the day you die. Everybody will. But we all sometimes, and I'll be honest with you, I feel terrible for souls that choose to just destroy, like fully destroy their child. Like I'm just an adult now and I can never do that again. It's like, I will fucking still go get, right now, you know what, next week, Craig, I'm going to bring my baseball fucking glove and we should throw the fucking baseball back there.
We could do that. We could,
you know what I mean?
We could toss the leather.
But you know what I'm talking about? Like some people put away like their child still and they become just adults. Like this is a moment for Pisces where it's like, have you forgotten about that girl, that boy inside and what your vision was when you would be older in the dream, and your love life has brought you to a place to where that child is not even going to be able to be possible to do that shit.
Well, it's easy to lose ourselves in the day-to-day stresses and who we thought that we should be. And, maybe you're not happy with the person you become, but you can always change that around a little bit and tap back into that spirit, that essence of that true child that you're talking about within yourself that we all still have.
Yeah. I mean, when Craig and I go to races, we always bring out old child. We fish. We're not that good, but we fish. Actually, we'd probably be good if we went to a lake with fish or a river with fish. But I don't know. We always have a good time as if, we were still teenagers, Like, it's not like that goes away, but then we're still adults and shit gets done that we wouldn't have been able to do when we were teenagers, but as friends, right? And I think that, there's something to say about Pisces and that whole friendship thing. That's a major Leo's next. So, Leo. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That Leo life. Yeah, I mean, again, if you do find yourself kind of losing your way or like losing that happiness within you, do take that time and kind of sit back and kind of process what got you into that spot where you're not feeling happy anymore, that spot that's making you irritable, where you're getting angry at people for reasons that don't really even matter. Because you got to look within and see, maybe you're reflecting on something that you're not happy about yourself inside. And so you're projecting it onto the outside world and say, oh, this is making me angry because of this, because of that, because of that. But really, it's inside that you're actually feeling that anger within yourself.
Yeah. Well, what are you feeling about Leo this week?
I'm hoping it's a good one, since I do have a rising and a moon there in Leo. So,
can I get personal with you, Leo rising?
Of course.
It's one thing to get personal with Leo rising all the time. Leo risings always say yes, but a Scorpio Leo rising is a little different. They can sometimes be like, well, I don't know if I'm going to go there. How are you feeling about your love life this week? Do you feel that it's going in a successful direction, or do you feel that you're just kind of in a, I don't know if it ever will?
I mean, I'm neither one of those, pretty much. I don't have any necessarily like new love that I'm tapping into, but in due time, we're pretty busy around here. I'm not really necessarily focused on that. You know, I'm kind of trying to get this foundation and the foundation for myself also, you know, so that I can show up for that individual that comes into my life just as much as I'd hope that she'd show up for me. So,
boom. I think we're both in that spot.
Yeah.
But I think that we've built an amazing foundation for our lives so we can have that and have partners that are excited for a life that can go anywhere, you know?
Exactamundo.
That's the dream, right? Like I had a really hard night last night. Like I went on my live on Instagram and just let all my like rejection issues out, all my rejection's always been a hard one for me in my life, but I feel better now. I feel like, you know, like, yeah, maybe it's just like, you know what, I just, you know, I don't know, maybe it's like it's just not about trying anymore, or you know, like, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm at a place where I just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come in due time.
So Leo's got all this.
You can't force someone to love you.
Yeah, you can't force anybody to love you. And I've never been that kind of person, but I think I was just letting a lot of, like, you know, being an astrologer and always busy and being a little crazy as far as not living a normal life, you know, that's hard. Because there's great women out there, you know, but like I always said, like the office manager won't work for me, you know, like we live two different lives, you know, it's like, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I need somebody who wants to go on the kingdom and go on a journey, you know, of life, and that anything's possible. But some people are very gripped to life being only like secure and safe, and I'm not. People look at me as like a risk, and I think last night I vented a lot about, like, I don't like feeling that. Like feel like I'm risk, like I'm a risk, you know. And it's like, wow, like I've been hearing that for years in my life, and I'm like, fuck, like that just hurts. But I know for Leo's, like, all this stuff right now, and Capricorn is like work. It's mundane. It's the hamster on the hamster wheel, you know? It's the Virgo house. So yeah, the dark moon in Sag is kind of like purging the pain around love and letting that all go. And Mars finishing in Scorpio is 4th house. It's deep emotional root, you know. What do you do? Like, you used to, you know, you garden a lot. Like sometimes what do? You have to, like, if the roots are kind of getting weak, how do you get them back strong again at the foundation? How do you do that?
I mean, it could be anything. It could be suffocation. You know, there's a thing called, you know, root ball, where basically if the plant is in a small planter or pot or whatever it is, and there's not enough room for the roots to actually grow out and get that nutrients, because a lot of times the plants, the leaves go out as far as the roots go out, you know. Or in redwoods, the roots all connect to each other and they actually share nutrients within the whole forest, and that's how they stabilize. But yeah, you know, sometimes you gotta take that plant out. You gotta break the roots up a little bit. You gotta pull them out. You gotta let them breathe and stretch out, and then you gotta replant it back into the ground or back to wherever you have it.
So there's a lot of that going on in Leo's charts right now with Mars and Scorpio for another week and a half here. Like, there's this kind of, you know, going through all the roots and kind of pulling them, you know, and maybe putting them in a better place. I don't know, maybe derooting and rerooting or redoing the soil, right? Like sometimes, right, you have to probably kind of churn the soil, right, to kind of get the nutrients back, because maybe it absorbed all the nutrients, but there's nutrients all around that it can't access. I don't know. That's my assumption. I'd be a horrible gardener, by the way.
Well, you just got to try. Like,
my mom would put me in duty, like, make sure you water the plants when I was a kid, and fucking always never did. Capricorn. All right, so yeah, this for love, you know, is like, it is the card dealing with work, but it is with dealing with success, achievement. You know, who's on your level? Who wants to go on the level that you're at? Who wants to go on the mission? You know, this is kind of mission love statement, Capricorn. Like love that's more than just love that has a plan, love that has a guide, love that has some place to reach beyond just romance and relationship, like has a mission to do something together, has purpose. That's all Capricorn really is about, is purpose. It can get used as, all these other aspects, but really it's about purpose, and it's about highest, and it's about destiny too. So there could be, a lot of karma coming in. Saturn is the ruler of karma. There can be a lot of karmic kind of destined aspects, but this is definitely a card, and this is where the sun and the solar eclipse and Jupiter are all meeting, right? It's like all happening in Capricorn. So for Leos, I think that this is really about the life that really is on the same mission for you in love, and understands your life, and you understand their life, and it makes sense, and it can go on that train track together. The luck card is in bad position this week. It was interesting. Last week was good luck. This week is bad, but I think that maybe this is kind of the flip. I always see that, like, when the challenge is luck, it's like you think there's bad luck, and you're owning that bad luck when you shouldn't. Like, it's like you're the one creating your own bad luck. But I think that comes from when Capricorn's a very narrow field. So it's like, it kind of feels like a narrow field in love right now. But so you think that you have a lot of bad luck, but it's more like, no, you're kind of picky, and you're kind of, wanting people who want to show up with the same kind of decision, authoritative aspect as you do in yourself. And the Eight of Wands reversed. Yeah. So it feels like things are going backwards and not forwards right now for you in love. And it's like, maybe it's like realizing that, especially with that luck is the challenge position, like maybe those arrows are going backwards because you're not choosing to go forward. Like, it's like you're thinking everything's bad, or everything didn't go well, or things are not going well. So it's like you're, throwing all those, arrows back in the quiv. What the quiver is, the quiver. What's the little thing that holds arrows? Like your little quiver, right?
The knapsack.
I guess knapsack. I think it's like the quiver.
I have no idea.
Somebody in the chat room, like, let me know about the quiver. But anyway, I think that this is kind of like the arrows of love not moving forward is because you're not kind of aiming anywhere right now, or you don't know where to aim. You don't know where to go with love. To be honest with Leos, they don't know where to go. And Capricorn wants to know where to go. At least you know what you want in your life, but you don't know where to go. And that, look at, how funny is that? I'm talking about fucking arrows and shit and quivers and fucking all that shit. So I think that right now it's about focusing just on that one direction that you want and being okay with that. Like, what's the point in focusing on so many different directions and just throwing a bunch of your energy out there and then wasting your time? This is about concentration now. This is about really focusing on what you want. That if you focus, maybe it's not so much bad luck. Maybe you're looking at bad luck because focus and attention and aiming and getting to the right position is not something that just like off luck, you just shoot it into the air and it hits the target. Like, you want to be precise. This is a week about being precise in what you want, because I think that it's important now, because I think that Leos are over, Leo risings, Leo moons are over, kind of all over the place love. Like, they want focused love, and they want love that goes to some sort of place and meaning. And it's Mars in the 10th house in Gemini. So this is, again, another Capricorn aspect of like putting your energy on a plan that's still stimulating, but communication is key. So if you're not able to get communication about what you want and where things are going or what some sort of plan is, like, that focus is going to be something that's needed. And if that focus is not there, and if it doesn't come by the end of the week, then you know that you got to move on or focus on energy that there is. Communication is key to building a plan and taking enormous action. Mars is exalted in the 10th house, and Mars in Gemini is about, it could be exciting and fun, but it needs to have a plan, and it needs to have a similar purpose.
So people are confirming that it is a quiver. And also, if you are into gardening, there's a great book called Teaming with Microbes. I don't know who wrote it. I forgot that. But it's all about soil dynamics and creating a healthy ecosystem within your soil. So it's called Teaming with Microbes.
Gemini is next. I'm getting them through. I know you got to roll, so I'm going fast. All right, Gemini. Gemini, with all this done in the Capricorn aspect, the eclipse in Capricorn, there's so much Capricorn, 8th house. This is where you do not want to become obsessed or try and like get jealous right now, because jealousy comes up in the 8th house, and with love or pushing love too far or vendettas, Like, this is where 8th house, with all this energy when it comes to love, and with the dark moon in your 7th house of relationships today and tomorrow, with a square to Chiron with Mercury and a square to Chiron with the sun in your 11th house. It's like, it's almost kind of like you don't know who to trust, or you will go for people in worlds that, or don't be in manipulation either. Don't be projecting what you feel people are projecting onto you. But this is definitely like Geminis are at a place to where it's like learning about death and rebirth, learning about, yes, there's passions, yes, there's desires, but they can go down dark roads when they become obsessive. And I think that this is learning for love and relationships, the overindulgence for commitment, the over needing to have something so bad, even if it's not the best for you, is something to pay attention to. But you can have what you really want if it's quality. And I think that as long as it's of truth and it makes sense with the world that you want to be in, picking partners that are, like we were talking about worlds earlier, but like Geminis are really dealing with that, with the kind of people they hang around. And if that partnership like works with those kind of people. You did pull the 12th house of escape. That's, there is, maybe you kind of wanting to escape or into a fantasy land with love this week, or even bail out of a relationship, or be careful about somebody who is also maybe floating some sort of dream or vision to you that might not be of its true sense. Like, they could be, and you could also be painting a picture that's not really there. So you got to be very careful this week and make sure that the people that you are associating with or in your love life, that you are not doing subconscious damage, or they're not doing subconscious damage to you, or you're not playing out subconscious issues this week. You need to be in spiritual alignment this week. So the 12th house is a gnarly house. It can be beautiful and it can be extremely ugly. So this is where the beauty is, by staying in your spirituality and staying in a clear space. I would avoid alcohol this week. I would avoid any drug use. I would avoid anything dealing with escapism this week, because it could take you into a position in a relationship that you do not want to be, or even be taken advantage of or used. You did get the wisdom card in challenge. So this is already telling me that that you need to really, be careful, because like, I think that maybe you're not paying attention to the wisdom. The other part is that maybe, you've been playing it too wise and you're like, well, I need to go dream. And I think that's true, but it's like, you still got to hold some sort of line, because you're getting 12th house with wisdom. So it's kind of like in challenged position. So it's like, are you really thinking about this thing? Have you really thought it out fully? Have you really processed all the picture? Have you really, you need to be careful about what you're doing, because it's a lot of subconscious stuff that might come out of nowhere, out of yourself this week and out of others. And you got to be wise enough to see, and you can't, this could be also kind of like where people go manic, like, like, no, everything's fine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and escape into some crazy wonderland. And then, it's not wonderland. King of Rods reversed. So it does feel like, maybe you feel that people, like somebody that was really approaching you, or somebody that you really admired or that you had a lot of passion for, has pulled out. You might want them back. You might try to come back to them with that 12th house. You might feel like somebody that you really, gave a lot of love to has pulled out on you completely, and you're like, what the hell? And you could even be pulling out on people, and because of subconscious, or maybe escaping into somebody else, or somebody that you think looks great, like a celebrity, or somebody that you admire, or somebody that you think is just a big deal, really is not showing their true cards. Like they could be especially hiding that, or they act more wise than they are. So be careful of that this week. But there is something to say that, like, this is just about like, who really is real. Like, it's not about the show. 1, 2, who's got wisdom, and 3, who's in their spirituality and will be with you through your subconscious stuff and be caring. Those are the people that you need to be around right now. Anybody else that's just going to be trying to show on the pompous or the show or anything, and with your 8th house and desires and wants, like, be careful of trying to get, swooped up by somebody who's really here to possibly even use you. And you did get the home card. So I think that it's important to kind of be what feels like home, what feels like it's safe, what feels like it's secure. Stay in that position and keep that within yourself. Do not go into a position where you escape into some crazy weird situations. And there's definitely some feelings of people who have pulled out that you had once thought were really approaching you really strong. And also, King of Rods is a bad king in the sense of like putting his heart everywhere, doesn't know where, and is kind of like a hopeless romantic and will take anything. And I think that this is a week where you do not want to have that one night stand where you wake up in the morning and you're like looking over and going like, who in the heck is this? And what am I doing? And they just took pictures of me and they're on the internet. Mars and Capricorn in, what is that? Oh, that's the 9th house. So yeah, this is about, being very certain about your beliefs and your opinions and research. That you need to take some time and you need to, take action towards what you want to explore, but you need to kind of have a plan and make sure that it fits within the needs that you want in your life as far as your long-term goals. So don't be wasting your time on exploring energy that already is not going to lead to where you want to go. Like if you're going to try and go, I don't know, and let's say you're, I don't know, like an astrologer or you're a tarot person or you're a whatever, and you're trying to go expand your life into somebody who works at SeaWorld and is, like in the background really fucking around with orcas in the wrong way. Like, I don't know, like, like, hey, come on down. I'll take you down to the pool. Like we can go swim with Free Willy or whatever,
Yeah.
Ah! Like, I don't know. There's a little bit of weirdness there, but I think that Mars and Capricorn is telling you to stay on your ground and only stay with people who believe your same beliefs. I think that there's a lot of belief system stuff. People who really are not fully on the same beliefs and people who are not showing up fully for you. And they might be doing that because they're against your beliefs too. And then there's you wanting to go escape to find some fulfillment quick. I'll pull a card for Geminis. They feel like they got fucked last week. And some people started to say, because I said, I've been, my last 2 girlfriends are Geminis, that I'm just like projecting my own shit on them. I'm just reading the cards. So let's look at what this King of Rods person is. It's the 3 of Pentacles. So this is like, anybody who you're going to be focused on right now, focus on somebody who's actually building something and doing something that you can tangibly see, and actually it's experiential, opposed to just a showboat like, oh, I got a startup and or, oh, look at, I got all this stuff. But then when you really go to the house, it's like you see what's really there. But with Mars there in Capricorn, like in the 9th, I would be afraid with these dice cards to even go there. Like it's like you kind of need to do some investigation a little bit, and you need to like see that they're working. Like usually person who is working or doing the work, they don't have time to just keep chasing after you all like day, like, like they're at work, they're doing the work. So I think that there's a lot of what I'm seeing here is a King of Rods is somebody who actually doesn't have a job or might want to try to leech onto you or try and use you right now, or, because they're not actually doing anything. Ooh, it's kind of crazy.
Ooh.
Sag. Do you know where I got lunch today? Because I'm here in such a hurry.
Where? Oh, the Durr.
Yeah, I haven't had... the whole audience is going to be like, oh my God, all the vegans and shit. I had hot dogs today for lunch and corn dogs and Wiener Schnitzel. And actually, I'll be honest, it was really good.
Yeah, sometimes we need a little corn dog.
Sometimes you just need some hot dogs in your life. No, I'm not fucking talking about those kind of hot dogs. I like women, but... Yeah, I didn't feel bad either. It's sad when I used to be in like a, how everybo's an emotional eater in some way, right? Like my emotional eating is doing like Wiener. Well, we grew up with it as Der Wiener Schnitzel, but Wiener Schnitzel. And I haven't been there for like 4 months. Remember, I used to go there a lot, but
I do.
Anyway, Sag, big time. Big time. Dark moon starting right away here on Monday and Tuesday with the sun squaring Chiron in Capricorn. Capricorn is your 2nd house of your self-worth and what you have. And then Chiron in Aries is dealing with your love house. So there is this kind of, what is the best for you for love and what is really sustainable and what is quality and what is not. And with the dark moon in your sign, there's a lot of processing before this eclipse on Wednesday and into Thursday of like, what do you really want? Mercury's finishing in your sign this week. And then we get, of course, the sun trine Uranus, which, is about what kind of quality of life, what's a new life. Uranus in the 6th house to the 2nd. It's like, what can go really build you a life that you really want to have instead of kind of staying stagnant, Then there's this solar eclipse on top of Jupiter, your ruling planet in the second. This is about expanding into a life to be more abundant, to explore abundance like you've never had before. And that is actually much more on a higher status for you in your life. But then, of course, we've got Venus in Aquarius in your third. It's about thinking smart and about stimulation and so forth. So let's see what pops up for the Sagittarius this week. We do get the air element. So communication is key. I think that there's a lot of communication issues that need to come up this week. Communicating is going to give you all the answers that you need to know. You might be assuming a lot of things right now, but you need to have communication. Maybe you're not communicating, or your partner's not communicating, or somebody's not communicating, but I think that you need to look at yourself first. So, if you just need to get your feelings off your chest or whatever, like, this is a time. This is a week where it's the air element. So it's all air sign aspects. Relationships, Libra. Aquarius, connecting to the people and to connection of the future and the world you want. But more importantly, that Gemini, communicating in your environment you're in. So if your environment, the relationship, and the world that you're living in is all over the place and not very clear and not making sense, there's something that you have to pay attention to there, that you need to use your mind and be very clear and make sure that there's balance and make sure that there's beauty and make sure that there's all those elements coming together. Your challenge is love. Wow. So, you're at a big challenging love week. You have a big choice to make about your love life. Like, it's extreme. And especially it's like you have a lot in your head. It's like you're in your head. It's very hard to choose from love from the head. But maybe the facts are going to help you, because I think that maybe emotions have been kind of, with Mars and Scorpio, been hard for you to cut things off. But, this is the finally, coming to the end as we come into the beginning of the new year of Mars finally will leave Scorpio, your 12th house. But this is some challenge about, love aspects, love life. Who is the kind of partner? What is love in your life? Like, I think that there's a lot of, questions up in the air. And yeah, you did pull the Page of Swords. So you're not communicating, or somebody's not speaking truly to you, or you're assuming communication, or you're expecting somebody to communicate, or you're not being honest even with yourself of what the messages are coming from spirit and so forth. So there's a message that's trying to come to you, but like not wanting to accept it, but it's put you into kind of a quandary. Having that challenge for the love aspect. But Page of Swords is reversed with air element, says, yeah, there's definitely a lot of miscommunication. There's definitely a lot of communication that needs to be clear. There's also like making sure that you are clear communication wise, like, because the Page of Swords reverse promises and doesn't deliver, right? It's like, oh, I'll do that, or I'll come, or I'll say that, or I'll do this, and then they don't. Whether that's you or another partner, like, you need to be honest about that and look at that. And that's causing a lot of love problems in your life. And also it also is kind of the main stemming point. Wow. You pulled the soulmate energy. So, this is like, again, I think this is the gnarliest week for love in your life. And I know you might think I'm crazy. I said it about the astrology, but like in your reading, holy shit, soulmate energy with the love aspect. I mean, and it's all about communication and Page of Swords. It's almost like maybe you're dealing with, two different partners or two different soulmate energies, and one communicates fully and one doesn't. You know what I mean? One shows up, one doesn't, right? Like, you got Page of Swords reversed, one doesn't, and one has all the communication elements of it all. But I think that challenge is like, in love, who is soulmate and who is not. And I always say on this card, like, there is one person who isn't and one person who is when you see those two. So that's pretty extreme right there. We'll get you just one tad of clarity for that Page of Swords. Yeah, somebody's not trying hard enough, right? So 5 of Swords is somebody who's not putting effort in enough. And that's the person that is not right for you. Nobody who really puts in real effort, or that they are a little bit dark too. 5 of Swords is a little bit dark, right? They like, or when they do put in effort, they put in way too much effort, and then they can kind of be a little bit overbearing or abusive, or, people walk away from this person, put it that way. There's somebody in there hooded. I want to get just one more clarity in the soulmate and love. So yeah, 6 of Cups reversed. It's like, there's something really beautiful that you're avoiding. And you need to look at the environment of your love and your soulmate relationship and see if it's able to be beautiful, or if it's just a toxic environment. Six of Cups is all about a beautiful place where, people can come together and feel in a beautiful garden and feel happy and explore life. But there's this reversal there. So there's definitely kind of a toxic soulmate relationship going on right now. the communication's everything, and being honest and all that stuff. So you did get the 11th house Aquarius, and you did pull Mars there. So there is something about liberation, freedom, going into, connecting with friends, connecting with, tribe, finding people that really are in alignment with you. But, Mars in the 11th house in Aquarius can sometimes have to bail out some crazy situations, right? And when things get too intense and too crazy, the 11th house has to figure things out, right? So we figure out before we come in the 12th, before we go into destruction. So it's like the universe is kind of trying to save you from destruction this week. This is a pretty gnarly reading.
Well, there we go. Those lucky Sages.
Yeah, they've had.
At least you gave them a lot of information
of years when it comes to love readings.
To lay it all out on the line for them.
Wow. I mean, it's been crazy. Cancers. Wow. It's funny. The ones that have been always the most extreme have been coming first lately, but now the universe today has been like, no, we're throwing them last. We are throwing them last. What's up with the chat? I gotta go. It's 888 in the chat room right now.
Ooh, galactic. What you seeing over there?
I'm just reading.
See some same.
Just people and what they were reading. All right, so Cancers, you all know. I mean, if any Cancers are watching this, they already know that all the planets pretty much, and especially this week, even the Moon and Mercury, everything's pretty much in Capricorn. A solar eclipse in Capricorn, Jupiter Capricorn, Sun and Jupiter. This is a major time for relationships. Cancer, because opposite of Cancer is Capricorn. So that's your relationship house. So major relationship aspects. Mars in your 5th house of love. So Cancers are going through the most extreme relationship stuff ever right now. And I think that with Venus in the 8th house, I think that there's a lot to say in Aquarius of like your true desires and your needs and your wants, and if they're being met or not. And you need to start to really look at that, and also what you're receiving. And if it's crazy, then you need to pull out into what is liberating and actually is not crazy, but exciting crazy, positive crazy, instead of like feeling like you're FOMOing the shit out of things and being restricted in a jail. That's the thing about Capricorn, is like, are you in a relationship jail? Sometimes it could actually look and feel like it too. Your first card that you got is the Pisces, I believe card. So this deals with the subconscious. It deals with the dreams that you have too. But one thing about Pisces and subconscious and the belief is, it's one thing to have the vision for something. It's another to actually do the vision. So sure, the visions might be there of what you want and love and where you're at, but also it can also create visions over and project over issues that are going on. So, we're going to have to get a little bit more clarity, but I will say that this week you're going to have to be dealing with the projections that you're dealing with, the imagination, and also the kind of cover-up story that you're building for situations that are really what's going on deep in your beliefs about your subconscious, about what you feel about a relationship. A little bit of, Pillsbury Doughboy fucking showing up and just, everything's fine. Let's just put some Pillsbury Doughboy in. Intellect as your challenge card. So you're not really thinking smart at all. And I also think that the challenge is you've been trying to be smart and you've been trying to overthink this thing. But, your visions have showed it. Your subconscious has showed it. And I think that, there's a part of you we have to start like acting on your intellect and actually staying and paying attention to what the hell's going on here. Like, let's be smart. Let's be smart. Let's not, let's not get you in a jail, Cancer. Two of coins. This is balancing out and juggling two different worlds. Like, you're juggling the life with or without somebody. You're juggling their life and what it looks like, and your life and what it looks like, and if it will really work. Of course, a balance can be found here, but I think that there's going to have to be some smart choices. I think there's going to have to be some subconscious things that have to come out. And also, I don't know why I'm getting this too, but with this being Pisces and knowing that, Neptune right now is kind of not being aspected, and there's a lot of Capricorn going on for you in relationships. Like, your whole belief system in love, is juggling a lot. And I think that you have to be smart instead of like continuing to try and create a vision from what you have, but actually stop for a second and make sure that you have enough data that proves that that's going to go in the right direction. It's a little bit of a deep reality check. This is why Cancers have Capricorn as the ruler of their 7th house, is you have to like have a reality check before you go put all your dreams into it. And wow, you got divine feminine on top of your intellect. So this is saying like, is your feminine aspect truly being honored? Is your feminine aspect truly being, you know, used in the right way? Because divine feminine is one thing. So somebody could be treating you feminine energy right. Are you treating your own feminine right? Are you getting what you need? Or are you the divine feminine where you're not thinking straight and you're giving it energy away? I feel like there's, you know, as Pisces, we can believe and give energy and throw it away to the universe, and then juggling all this stuff. There's something to say. There's a very, you know, I gotta pull out a card. There's something to say. What are you juggling? You're juggling a high priestess reverse. You're pulled out and you're not listening to your truth and your guides, and you know, and so you just want to keep juggling it. You don't want to listen to the truth. You don't want to listen to what's coming up. Also, high priestess can be a little bit, you know, in the back, kind of secretive when it's reversed, especially. It's like, but you also could be in complete denial. And I think that the divine feminine is trying to rise up within you, Cancer, of like what you need to be nurtured with and what you want to feel and what you want to manifest and what you want to harvest in your life. And if that's not there, like you can't keep avoiding it. You got Aries, Pluto in the 1st house. So that is the most extreme you can get for putting life into your own hands, putting life into what you want it to look like, and, you know, changing it to look that way. And the scary part though, is that can also be an extreme ego of trying to make something that is toxic bad. We're going to pull a card for that 1st house thing. Fool card reversed. Yeah. So don't be a fool. Like, you just can't just like implode or create it any way that you look like. You'd be a fool, because if it's going to, you know, it's going to crash land you down the hill, it will. You need to implode things to look like the way that are pure and fresh and clean from a slate, the way that you want things to look. Not from some kind of toxic Piscean holding a story subconsciously, you know.
Yeah, get out and start a new story. Create a new journey.
Boom. Well, speaking of you, it's Scorpio.
Ain't no party like a Scorpio party, baby.
It's true. Until they get pissed.
I mean, it's always warranted, though. But no, I like to keep it with a calm and cool collective head.
Hey, I can deal with Scorpios. I like them. I don't mind when they get pissed. It's fun. It's fun for me to watch, as long as I'm not the one getting yelled at from a Scorpio. It's fun to watch Scorpios get pissed at people. I love it. I love when they rant and they piss and they get pissed at people. I just think it's hilarious. I'm always like, oh my God, fucking
I don't know. People sometimes think that I get mad because I'm like mainly even keeled, until there's like that tipping point when I'm like, no, you fucking crossed the line and you got to get put in your place. But I mean, just because we're on an even keel, that doesn't mean that something could be upsetting. We just don't necessarily show it right off the bat. So
no, it's like police officers. Like, you know, like people like don't like police. I don't mind police. Like, sure, sometimes they can be a hindrance in your life. They'll pull you over and tell you what, and it's like you crossed the boundary. Sorry. It's not like police are out to just fucking fuck people over. I know some people might say that because I'm white, which I'm not. I'm actually technically Asian Pacific Islander, if you want to be honest with you. But it's like the whole thing is like how you treat people who put you in line when you go out of line is how you get treated by people who are dealing with those lines. Does that make sense?
That it does.
All right. Scorpio, you're on a quest for excitement with all this Capricorn in the 3rd house. A lot of it, stimulation, and also the mind and your voice getting out. And Craig, of course, as a Scorpio, I could say this has been the year of your voice coming out, and it's about to quadruple here in 2020.
Boom.
You might even go start your own fucking network. I might lose you.
Oh, nice.
But
who wants to come join?
That would
the
be
network?
really sad, actually. But you know what? I would never hold you back from something like that. I just want to let you know that.
No, thank you.
Oh, you never know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to tell you. You never know. But I will say that Scorpios are in the better position for this eclipse, because this is a time for Scorpios to really start to figure out what to do with all the worth and all the power they know they gained this year. So for love, it's like things are stimulating, things are exciting, but if they're not going to fit in and go anywhere, or they don't hold some really high quality of like just value of life, moral code, like the stimulation's high, and Venus is in your emotional house now. So it's like you want to feel emotion that you know is connected, not none of this bullshit that's just stimulating without emotion. That's where this is at. But this is a time for you to speak up, time for you to have really fun times and have a good time, you know? And you got the third house of messages, so it's being very clear, you know, but you have to communicate. I think that it's important if you're single or if you're in a relationship right now, Scorpio, like, speak what you need to speak. Let it off your chest. Or, you know what? I always like to say, like, if I, you know, back in the day, I haven't done this in a minute, probably since my late 20s, but man, if I saw a girl and I was at a bar or something and I thought she was hot, I would literally go up to her and be like, you are beautiful. I'd use all the cheesy lines, whatever. And I'd just go, can I get your number? You know, da, da, da. And that worked. So there is something to say that, you know, you gotta like let people know, like, or not be afraid to let people know. I know Craig's not afraid, you know, if he really feels it. So I've seen him do it before, but you know,
I mean, you got to fully be into it though, and be willing to invest yourself. I ain't out here just lying to people. You know?
No.
So when I say and give a compliment.
No, but there's something to say about this week and this eclipse and this time. You know, really think about it. And if it really makes sense and the logical aspects there and it looks all that, then don't be afraid to speak what you need to say. But this also could mean in all relationships, past, present, future, whatever, like there's an understanding coming of it all. There's a powerful understanding with the Eye of Horus there. The challenge is the luxury card. So it might feel like that maybe your options have been not the best options lately, but I think that's just been a challenge because you actually are looking for the best. And I think that you are becoming clear on that. But I'd also to remember there's a challenge. Don't just kind of swoop up on some anchovies. You know what I mean? I'm using a plenty of like fish reference. You know, so... You know, make sure that you're picking people that are worthy of your time and energy instead of, you know, and that have class. There's something about class. The luxury card has to deal with class. So I think that right now where Scorpios are at, class is important. Not like, you know, crazy over the top class, but like classy in a way, like has their shit together and also has a magnificent self-worth and beauty there, which you yourself steps up for. With that in a partner. You got the Page of Rods reverse. So, you know, it could be that, you know, maybe people have been kind of bailing out lately or saying they're going to come through and they're not. And I think that this is something you're going to have to get over this week, that means that those people just don't have the class. That's what it is. And to not get discouraged from that and not keep trying. So don't keep trying to communicate with somebody who's not showing up for you because they weren't classy. Like, focus putting that energy and on people who are going to show up with a message that have class. Messaging is everything. And you did get the earth element as your overall and the spiritual advice on that luxury. Yeah, somebody who's got quality, somebody who's got value, somebody who's got their shit together, somebody who has, you know, they're going to show up. They're going to be worthy of your time. Like, because I think that with all the simulation, it could be like a lot of questions and you don't need to be playing those crazy games. You can be very clear, very blunt, very fast. And if they show themselves and they say they're going to do all this beautiful things and then they don't, like, there's your answer. Here's your sign. And you got Virgo, 7th house, and you got the South Node. So, yeah, this is letting go of trying to figure out relationships and just focusing on, you know, the imagination of yourself and what you want. And it's almost like how Alice is in Wonderland and everybody just kind of shows up. Like, just go into Wonderland a little bit this week and watch everything show up instead of staying out of Wonderland and trying to figure out the world. Like, that's not going to be the best, especially love-wise. So, pretty good reading for Scorps this week.
Perfect. I'm just gonna keep doing my my thing and, you know, get out there, get weird a little bit.
All right, we're on the last two. It's Aries or Virgo. Who should we do?
We'll let Aries go last.
Damn. All right. So Virgos, Aries are going last.
Sorry, pops.
I mean, you know, it's funny. Aries don't like to be last. They like to be first in everything they do.
Well, not today.
As you know, your dad's Aries, right? My stepdad's Aries.
My father's having shoulder surgery because he plays softball too much and he has to get it fixed. And he's thinking about the rehab time now. And when he can get back out there.
Granted, I mean, if I were him too, I'd be thinking the same way. I mean, I have to give your dad props because you know what? Your dad is a winner and he cares about it and he's dedicated and he thinks dedicated that way. You know, but you know what? Tell him, if your dad is watching, tell him he's got an amazing singing career going on right now. So while he's recovering, he can continue to sing.
I know. I'll be seeing him in a short while.
Well, when you see him, you let him know that I've seen him twice now sing on the internet through your phone, and you show me the clips. And I think it's cool that your dad lives his life fully.
That he does.
That's the beautiful part of Aries. So Aries got all this. Well, you know what's funny? Capricorn, it's 10th house. It's career. It's about your long-term goals. It's about your...
Are we doing Aries or Virgo, though?
Oh, that's right. Oh, my gosh.
I can switch it up.
You know what's so funny? Because my mom is a Virgo. My stepdad's an Aries. So if they're watching, like, I'm totally giving my stepdad a reading before my mom. My mom's probably like, what the fuck? So, all right, Mom. All right, Virgos. Hey, Lyle. What's up, my brother? All Virgos in my life. Virgos, it's about love. Literally, all this Capricorn's in the 5th house. So it's like solar eclipse here. Mercury's coming in here. But that square to Chiron's a little funky about there's something missing. Now, I'm not saying there's something missing just in like love, but where's there in your creative energy or, you know, maybe even in your partnerships, like finding something that brings you together that's been missing. Like the same thing's been repetitive. Virgos do the same thing all the time, right? It's like hamster wheels shit. So it's like maybe... always doing the same repetitive thing to bring the love is not working anymore. Trying something different, exploring new passions, new love. Mars in your 3rd house. You're trying to figure this one out. You got the Yod card, the Destiny card this week. So this is like, it's a great card for Destiny, of course, but it does bring a lot of complications because it is a weird aspect. Two 135-degree angles to a 60-degree angle create a Yod like that, which is a finger of God. So they always have said that, you know, in the old text, like this is where God's pointing. So this Destiny this week is kind of this uncomfortable angle, but it is saying that there is some beautiful parts to things that are pointing to an uncomfortable part. And I would say that for you that there's an uncomfortable part, but it has a lot of beautiful things around it about this week in love. So you might be dealing with partnerships if you're single or somebody where there's a lot of good, but there's this weird thing that's off, but you got to focus on what are those two good things and how do they connect to that weird thing, and it's almost like you're like on a little bit of a Mission Impossible story to get this tiny thing figured out. There's like something that's off this week. Something that's off about somebody if you're single or in your partnership, something that's small, not huge, that could be made more dramatic than it is, that to fulfill something a little bit deeper. And you're going to have to go on a little bit of a weird quest to do that this week. You did get the energy card, so you might not be feeling the energy this week, and it might be part of it, or you might be, you know, people might be saying like, come on, show up with the energy, and that's like, that might really like throw you for a tizzy. So, but I think that why is your energy being drained? What are you spending all your time, Virgo, over stressing about this week? I think that you need to let go of stress. I think that you're putting way too much energy into a lot of things, especially if you're in a relationship. Like, are you putting enough into the relationship, or are you putting way too much in other places? Maybe you need to, or if you're dating and somebody says, hey, like you're not showing up, it's like maybe you're putting way too much energy into all these other things so you can't even show up, but then you're playing with the idea of it. I think your destiny is to find where is your energy going, because I think that there's energy issues in where the energy is being put. And you did pull the 5 of Cups reversed. So, you know, it is to say that there is some sort of, you know, it kind of feels like energy's pulled out in love in a way. That's the missing part. And it kind of feels a little bit sorrowish. But I think that, you know, part of the destiny, it might have happened for a destined reason to get to the bottom of why things have kind of fallen off a little bit, so you can get to the point and see to put the right energy back in. But it could also feel, if you're single, somebody, a Virgo, if you're watching, some people watch this Virgo for their own signs or whatever, like, or their person they're looking at or whatever. But if you're a Virgo and you're single, or even if you're married or whatever, you might feel like your partner's pulled out. You might feel like somebody's pulled out. And then if you're watching this because you're watching a Virgo, maybe a Virgo pulled out on you because they're not the energy, and they kind of feel like the destiny, they can't figure it out, but there's something off, and they can't find the way to do that. There's something about this. Somebody's pulling out emotionally. There's sorrow. There's a lot of weird things, and you can't figure it out. A lot of it is jealousy, or that especially with that energy card and that jealousy, like the focus is on other things. The focus is on things that are not of, whether it's a relationship or the love, or, you know, there's some sort of vendetta against, you know, your partner or somebody that you're at about what they've done or the past or some sort of weird thing. So this is kind of an intense card. It's definitely not an easy one for this week. I will pull real quick for this 5 of Cups. It's 2 of Swords reversed. So yeah, it's like the mask is coming off. There's been a lot of kind of like, staying blindfolded and seeing that there's choices to make, but you almost don't want to make them. But, there is something to say about roads crossing in different directions this week for a lot of Virgos and how their relationships work or moving on to new waters. Why do we get the jealousy card? We got the 7 of Wands reversed. So somebody's not fighting enough for you hard enough, or you're not ready to go defend the position. You don't have enough energy. You're just like, you're not into it for some reason. And you're going to have to get to the bottom of that. That's your destiny this week. That's a gnarly destiny. Why is that? Where's that energy going? You did pull the 12th house, Gemini, and you got Mars. So you are definitely going to have to clear some deep subconscious things. Mars in the 12th house is clearing the past and communication stuff. So this could be communication that you haven't had, or other maybe partners or stuff like that. Or you might be hiding something or secrets, or somebody's putting secrets on you that are going to be confronted, and it could cause arguments and fights when communication is suppressed extremely. So you want to avoid that this week. If you have a partnership or somebody you're dating or somebody you broke up with or something, and there's a lot of things that are underground and communication wise and all that, like this is not the time to, if it's over, it's over. Like just cut it off. But if there's things that you have to confront, just be ready for a very kind of tumultuous, kind of crazy scenario. If you are in some weird energy where somebody else or yourself are dealing with secrets or some affairs or some weird things that are there. So there's some weird shit going on with Virgos and suppression and emotion. And Aries next.
Now the Aries. Now you can hype it up.
That was a beautiful reading.
It was quite lovely.
It was quite lovely, right?
I have my ass in Virgo. As you would say, you have your ass in Cancer.
Your ass would be in Libra.
Well, my rising ass.
Oh, that would be your, well, you're not late Leo rising. You're like middle of the road.
I remember because I was born at that time change. Remember that whole dilemma that we had to basically
I know, because we always thought
dissect?
you were Virgo rising. You could be right. I think, it would make sense because I'm like last degrees of Leo rising, and you and I are like on the same life path in our life. If you followed ever since we've been hanging out in our life for the last 11 years, like 12. Actually, it's, our return is happening, our Jupiter return.
Woohoo!
As far as meeting, and well, we knew each other before, but hanging out, like it was 2008 and to 9,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exactly when Jupiter was in Capricorn. So, but if you think about it, we've been on the same path always, like, so.
It's true.
But technically it'd be your cock is in Virgo and your ass is in Leo. If you were still in Leo with Virgo in front of you, if that makes sense.
Just
like
D'ing down the V.
So as a Scorpio, your ass would be in Libra. I never say about the front part, but I always say my cock's in Leo and my fucking ass is in Cancer.
There you go.
Oh, shit. All right. Aries, so it's career time, but long-term legacy goal, if you're out of career, this is about your strategy in life, but don't forget about that North Node of Cancer. It's about, self-care is needed to hold up these big achievements that you want in your life. With Mars in the 8th house, too, there's like this passion and drive, but where to put it all. Relationship-wise, though, I think, it's a little bit just like, I don't want to say just going through the motions, but it's just like you're doing things, you're setting up plans, but there's family stuff. There's really nothing like that crazy. Venus in the 11th house is trying to find more, maybe more fun things to do with partnerships, or if you're single, finding partners that have friendships or exciting things to do, but also, you could talk politics, or maybe you can talk, about career. I know that might sound crazy, but there's that need of like stimulation in those areas. But really, relationship wise with Venus in Aquarius this week and all this 10th house, it's like, it's not the craziest week for relationship aspects for Aries. It's much more of a time of like figuring out your life and figuring out the excitement between where you could have life and friends and passions and family elements and stuff. It's not really that crazy. So, we'll see what the cards have to say though. Jupiter abundance. So this is a great week for Aries. I think that there's a lot of expansion going on, and I think that there's better news coming than you think. And I think that in love, it's like you're almost like protected, or if you're single, this could be a door opening like that you've been waiting to open. Or spending some time with somebody that maybe you want to, and finding some more experience of where that's going. But I think that there's kind of like this protective element of Jupiter of like, you're good. You're abundant in relationship and love. Now, if you're single, it's abundant in that you have options. And which one do you think is going to bring the great abundance? Your challenge card is the fertility card. So it's like, maybe you don't know really what to do with all that's there. Maybe you're wanting to find something new to bring from the abundant energies that you have if you're in a partnership, or if you're single, it's almost like you don't know what to do with all these options or which one to plant, right? It's kind of like, so that's kind of a dilemma, but it's not the worst one in the world. I mean, it'd be like having a million seeds and not knowing where to plant them. Like which one do I plant? Or, if you're in a relationship, it's like, what do we plant next? I don't know. Like there's like, so there's kind of like a question about that. This overall card is the Temperance card reverse. So it's like the schedule's off right now. It's like, especially holiday week, but it's like kind of feeling like, your world's been turned upside down as far as your normal schedule and your routine. And so it's like, when it comes to love, it's like somebody's going to have to adapt to that. Or maybe this is good because you might be able to find something different in a relationship, or meet somebody new because you weren't in that normal routine that you would have normally missed. So that's a positive. But I'll be honest, for single Aries out there, if they're trying to partner right now and stuff, like your routine is not working for the love that you want, or you're putting yourself in a position of the life that you want that's not going to fit into other people's life. And that's what the fertility issue is too, is like, how are you going to grow something if you're doing this and they're doing that and your schedules are off? Like, you have to be also willing to, I think, be abundant and open to shifting your life to be capable to have that, and asking your partner and so forth. And the spiritual cleansing, is the advice. I think that there's a time. Yeah. It's like really getting clear on what to grow and what to create next in partnerships, or what to grow and create from the abundance of different partners that are around, that are deeply connected to your soul, that have probably a better understanding of the kind of life of maybe that you would want to live. I think that for partnered one, it's like, this is a time that, you can use your partnership to kind of like clear a lot of the old junk in the trunk and try and find some new things to build in life, and that there's a lot of great abundance and a lot of great energy around. And this is a very positive week, although I think that that Aries want to go kill it and work right now, or achievements, but there is something to say that the schedule's off. There's some deeper things going on, but you're fine. There's a lot of positive options. And I think if for any Aries out there that's having love issues, is tripping, you should not be tripping, because you have plenty of options. It's your lifestyle that's not fitting with the options that you need to maybe take a check on. You got the 9th house, Neptune in Libra. So, I mean, this is really just, again, it's like there's a lot of, who knows, like there's just so much going on that it's like, what next? Where am I dreaming? There's, contemplation of, where's the future going in relationships, and where's the dream next? What is the next horizon to look at? So there's a lot of horizon looking right now, but at the same time with horizon looking, you have to take some sort of action on that. But I don't see a lot of that in the cards here. I will pull a card for this Temperance card to see about the action. Oh yeah, 6 of coins. It's almost like you don't feel like you can fully show up, just because maybe you're not in you're not in your full energy right now, right? And you got the spiritual cleansing, because 6 of coins always can do charitable work. But if you don't have the abundance or the energy inside to go out there and hand, toys for tots, like there's kind of that aspect of like, there's something about you not being able to show up fully in yourself. So maybe it's hard to have somebody that, if you're single, try and meet somebody when you're like, well, I'm kind of just sitting at home, like I'm kind of cleansing myself. It's like, but you might want to show up a little bit. Like, you don't have to do as big of a work as you think you have to do. And you did pull the Chariot reverse. So yeah, you feel stalled. Where to go next? That's why you're getting this Libra Neptune 9th. Like, it's like where's next? New horizons to look at. Don't be afraid to go. Jupiter's the first card you pulled, abundance. I'll pull one card for the Jupiter for the Aries. You do not need to rest as much as you think you do. People are telling you to rest too. That's the fucked up part. And you're probably telling yourself that too. 4 of Swords is like rest. But when it's reversed, it's like, maybe you're over doing this thing. Maybe you're over, I don't know. These are all cards that are like wanting to move forward and do things. They're all backwards. So There's something about you're going backwards and starting to believe that you're going backwards, but you're not. Like you can handle things still. You got a lot of options. Don't waste them. Well, thanks everybody for being part of Deep Love Tarot. Thanks, Craig. Do we have the trailer to throw people?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for having you. What do you mean? It's your show too. What are you fucking talking about?
Hey, thanks for letting me join the party. Yeah, we do. Shall we play it?
So we're going to play the trailer for you, but we'll say bye to you right now. Please watch it about the New Year's event. If you want to be part of the live stream, it's awesome. If you want to be part of the event, which is going to be awesome, it's going to be the best party we've ever thrown ever. And I know it's a week and a half or a week and a day away, but if you can make it here, it'll be. I guarantee you, we will give you the most fun time of your life spiritually and the most deep information. We got a lot of amazing guests. It's going to be a blast. Thanks so much for watching Deep Love Tarot. Please share this out to your friends, fam, and everyone. We're sending you the best on this holiday, and let's roll that tape.